Marine specialty farming has become a common trend in many countries around the world, as well as in Vietnam. Not only bringing economic value, many types of marine seafood such as abalone, sea cucumber, seaweed are also a source of raw materials to make medicine to treat diseases and improve people's health. However, the process of cultivating specialty seafood encounter many difficulties such as flooding in the rainy season, epidemics in the dry season, lack of clean water sources, unstable prices. Aiming to raise aquatic species with high quality, productivity, good quality, saving land and no pollution, the aquaculture industry must overcome these barriers and challenges. Currently, RAS recirculating aquaculture system has been studied and applied in Norway, Netherlands, Thailand, China to serve hatcheries and intensive farming for those species living in the fresh or salty aquatic environment. The effectiveness of these models is highly appreciated, bringing profit to farmers and businesses. This model is now considered one of the new directions for many aquaculture farms and enterprises in Vietnam. Greetings from Sharing Vietnam on VTC10 Netviet. In today's show, let's talk about a new trend of developing the aquaculture, that is a RAS model. And the guest speaker in our program today is an expert from the United States. He's Mr. Davidson. Thank you for joining our program today. The first question is, RAS has been kind of very popular around the world. It has been a trend. So can you share more with us some information about this?
Sure. So RAS stands for Recirculating Aquaculture Systems. And basically it's just a form of aquaculture or fish farming where we are recirculating and reusing the water. So we're filtering the water to keep it clean for the fish. So just like you and I need clean air to breathe, fish need clean water to breathe and live in. So with RAS, we're filtering the water to basically take out all the bad things that could potentially harm the fish. So we're removing any excess food particles and any other sort of toxins or things that may hurt the fish. And then also, just like us, fish use oxygen, so we need to replace the oxygen in the system, in the water. And then we need to pull out things like carbon dioxide. And if we do all of those things, then we can reuse the water again and again. The advantage of being is we can then save water. We don't need to use as much in order to actually farm or grow the fish.
So it has been popular around the world. So how effective has it been proven?
So in terms of, it has been effective. I mean, it's very well used technology in a number of different applications. So for example, in the United States, it's very common to use RAS for fish hatcheries or for shellfish hatcheries, so for growing baby fish or shrimp. And the reason why they do that, or why they want to keep the water clean and fresh for those baby fish who are very susceptible to getting sick. And also they want to control the environment, so they want to keep a very even temperature all the time. They want to have the same amount of dissolved oxygen in the water all the time, and they want to make sure that it's very clean all the time. And so that's the sort of applications where we see it being used in the United States, in Europe, and it's starting to be used more and more in countries like China and Vietnam as the industry is developing.
In your opinion, what are the criteria or the conditions to develop the RAS model here in Vietnam?
So in my opinion, I think it's going to be most suitable for Vietnam to apply it for their fish hatcheries or their shellfish hatcheries, so the growing of those baby fish or shellfish. Because then farmers will typically actually buy those baby fish or shellfish and put them out in their own farm. Maybe it's in a cage in the ocean, or it's on a plot of land or a plot of shallow water where they put the shellfish. But they need somewhere to be able to buy those, we call them like seed, just like seeds for plants. They need to be able to buy those baby fish or those seed shellfish in order to operate their farm. And so that's where I think it's going to be really applicable in Vietnam. Yeah.
RAS technology in aquaculture is being applied in Vietnam based on technological principles and improved to be practical. This is a technology with high investment costs, requiring technology operators to have professional qualifications and well-trained. Specifically, since 2000, a number of shrimp hatcheries in the Mekong Delta have adopted RAS technology, which has a marked effect on controlling environmental factors, saving water and improving survival rates of larvae 70 to 92%. Currently, there are about 50 shrimp hatcheries, mainly in the southern provinces, applying the circulating biofiltration seed production system.
Chúng tôi đã đi khảo sát ở các địa phương trong Việt Nam, từ khu vực miền Trung như là Phú Yên, Khánh Hòa, Ninh Thuận, Bình Thuận và đến trong miền Nam như là Kiên Giang, Cà Mau, và nhận thấy là tiềm năng phát triển thì rất có nhiều cơ hội để có thể triển khai công nghệ RAS, giảm thiểu rủi ro cho người dân cũng như là nâng cao cái chất lượng sản phẩm. Vì nuôi trong công nghệ RAS thì là một môi trường tuần hoàn khép kín, không ảnh hưởng đến môi trường, giảm thiểu chất thải trong nuôi trồng thủy sản đến một mức độ tối thiểu, và sản phẩm luôn luôn là mang tính chất là xanh sạch, phát triển bền vững, và chất lượng thì nó sẽ là cao cấp nhất dành cho cái sản phẩm đầu ra cho người tiêu dùng. Với công nghệ RAS này thì đòi hỏi chi phí vận hành cũng rất là cao và phải khoa học kỹ thuật, tại vì nếu mà không nắm bắt được khoa học kỹ thuật thì cái rủi ro trong nuôi trồng nó cũng rất là cao. Thì lý do đó thì chúng tôi đã hướng tới là một số những loài nuôi thủy sản có giá trị cao trên thị trường như là cá mú.
RAS technology applied to intensive farming in Vietnam is still modest, limited at research projects. The reason is that aquaculture in most small-scale farms households investment in a system with billions of VND is not easy. On the other hand, farmed fish have relatively cheap prices and unstable output, making it difficult to convince investors to use. Currently, only some shrimp hatcheries have applied this technology to production.
RAS được bố trí ở trên đất liền. Nó có đầy đủ điều kiện về hạ tầng, về điện, về liên lạc, về tiếp cận để có thể xử lý mọi vấn đề. Và nó kiểm soát tốt cái môi trường mà vật nuôi đang sống, cụ thể là nước nuôi. Thế thì các hệ thống RAS hiện đại đã cho phép chúng ta là có thể tự động hóa hoàn toàn cái việc kiểm soát môi trường nuôi và sự phát triển của sinh vật. Nó rất gần với các cái trung tâm tiêu thụ, nó bớt cái chi phí vận chuyển cho thí dụ cá sống mà chuyển từ biển vào đến Hà Nội hay thành phố Hồ Chí Minh sẽ rất là tốn kém. Nhưng mà nếu chúng ta bố trí hệ RAS ngay ở Hà Nội, thành phố Hồ Chí Minh thì hoàn toàn có thể nuôi được cá biển và cung cấp sống cho các nhà. Thì cái khả năng ứng dụng tại Việt Nam là rất lớn.
At present, the quality of aquatic products consumed domestically and exported is increasingly closely tracked, requiring farmers to look for safe farming technologies while ensuring productivity and output. The use of RAS in aquaculture will be inevitable direction in the future. What would you say about the demand and also the supply of fish or aquaculture products in general in Vietnam? And is it necessary to apply RAS model here?
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of just fish farming and aquaculture production is growing all over the world and has been for about the past 30 or 40 years. And the reason for that is we're limited in the amount of capture fish that we have, or wild fish that we can actually go out and catch. We basically hit a peak amount that we can catch each year, and we've been catching that same amount of fish every year for about 30 years now. So aquaculture has to fill the gap as we have more people and more people who want to eat fish, especially with a growing middle class in Asia. There's a lot more need for these new seafood products. So there's this huge potential for aquaculture, and it's been growing quickly. And especially in Vietnam, and I know that Vietnam has plans to grow the industry more, be able to export seafood products and fish to China and other countries. So RAS, I think, is just one technology or tool that's going to be needed in order to achieve that increase in production. So it's going to be one thing that Vietnam and other countries rely on in order to kind of efficiently grow more fish.
Businesses and farmers cannot do it themselves. So what support do you think that the government can provide to those stakeholders?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there has to be some amount of public support just because there needs to be education. There need to be trained technicians who understand this technology, trained individuals who know how to build it in the first place. So in terms of helping people gain this knowledge so that they'll be able to operate the farms, that's definitely somewhere where the government can help. Whether that means creating like aquaculture technician programs at local universities, or maybe having workshops for farmers or for people who are interested in it. Yeah, definitely. I think the public sector will have to help the private sector.
Most of the businesses here in Vietnam are small and medium-sized enterprises, and the majority are the household fish farmers. So would you say that it is a challenge for those people here in Vietnam to develop RAS?
Definitely. I think it'd be very challenging for a single small farmer to implement all of this technology. I think there'd be a lot of trial and error. There'd probably be a lot of mistakes at first. It can be difficult to control the environment and reuse water and over again. So I think it's probably going to be more used by larger businesses that have a little bit of investment money that they can use in order to build this farm in the first place. And then those small farmers, like I mentioned before, maybe they'll be able to buy products from these recirculating aquaculture system users, like the baby fish, and they will then have the advantage for them is they're going to have a steady supply of fish for their farm. So they can always know that they're going to have new baby fish they can put into their farm, so they have nice, like, even production throughout the year.
Once again, thank you for joining us, and we hope that in the future your book and your experience will help a lot for the farmers here in Vietnam.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's all we have for this episode of Sang Vietnam today. For comment and feedback, don't hesitate to write to us at sangvietnam@netvietv.net. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.